Hey, let me check in with Shktb. Oh, as my Airedale pal comes zooming by. Well, sauntering by, because my Airedale pal is old. Um, one of the joys of Shktb is when stuff, plays or poems within Shakespeare talk to each other, or at least resonate in a way that hopefully helps me appreciate both a play and a poem more. In this case, it's Venus and Adonis, and Much Ado About Nothing. And what what my connection is today is the idea of death, and the connection of death and love. Uh, in Venus and Adonis, Adonis gets wooed by Venus. It seems to be very lusty, earthy love. But spoiler alert: Adonis is gored by a boar and dies, and Venus mourns and shows a different sort of love. In that case, perhaps one where the body has been extinguished. Indeed, the body melts and becomes a flower. Um, and I was watching Much Ado About Nothing, a production of Much Ado About Nothing, um, where because Hero, the young couple in there, Hero and Claudio, through machinations, Claudio has come to believe that Hero is a wanton woman, and has enraged, and it turns to hate, and slander against her. He believes the slander. How convincingly, how easily he does. There seems to be hints at the beginning that he is rather fickle that way, in his love. And when this happens, uh, the strategy that gets put forward is, okay, Hero. We're going to pretend that Hero has died, so that so it can it can it can turn all that hate and jealousy to a repentance, and a repentance on the perpetrators thing of Claudio, of Don Juan, of the prince. But it's interesting that in that, with Venus mourned Adonis, and there was kind of that was where you get the Ovidian transformation of the body into a flower. Um, when when Claudio discovers that Hero has died, it seems a very I his anger seems to remain. He his affront, his um male ego is still very much at the fore, and whatever his it seems to me it kind of exposes um, a shallowness, a lack of love, that it was only youthful love, of only a body love that he had, um, that his reaction to her death exposes a real lacking there, um, which, I mean, like a lot of Shakespeare comedies, especially that it's a war of the sexes kind of comedies. It shows a really dark and disquieting side of human nature, of how a love and a passion can turn so quickly and easily to a hate and violence there. Um, so it was just an interesting contrast of Venus's mourning for Adonis, um, with Claudio's sort of lack of mourning, lack of thing. And I mean, Claudio in that play goes like, oh well, they come up with say, okay, well, Hero's dead. and you found out that she'd been slandered, okay, I'll marry you to my brother's daughter instead. It actually turning out to be Hero, but he agrees. And it's sort of not like one of these like, oh, well, I'm so broken up by Hero's death that that's it. That kills love for me. It's like, no, it's the day later. Okay, I'll marry the daughter, and maybe he looks at as a punishment, but he seems a very shallow, um, not a very desirable creature at all. And it's interesting that at the end of that play, Hero doesn't get doesn't get any say in all this. The father decides, okay, now that he's back, we can restore honor. You're going to marry him, and it's like, yeah, yeah, and she does it with the knowledge of this is a guy who turned on me. As soon as somebody came up with a slander, someone clever enough kind of came up with something to trick him, he bought it, and that's who I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, which is a very sad and kind of darkly cynical thing of how people can make bargains, and settle in their lives. So much ado about nothing. Could be a very nihilistic nothing. At least maybe from that reading of it. That's at least my reading of it this time. Who knows what my reading of it will be next time that I go through this play. But yeah, that's my little in between my little back and forth between two works of Shakespeare and what I imagined I discovered there. All right, more videos later.